Okay, so this is the all-new Galaxy Z Fold 6, and if you have watched the event, it was mostly about
Galaxy AI, Galaxy AI, Galaxy AI, Galaxy AI.
But there are a lot of stuff that Samsung didn't even talk about. The goods, the mass, in fact, all of these AI features, how do they work? Like, can AI bring out the artist inside me? And most importantly, there is an AI war going on smartphones. So what does that mean to you as a smartphone user? And what is that one AI app that you guys use quite a lot on your smartphones? Comment below, I really want to know. This is Prateek, you're already watching TechVisor. Let's go. Now we'll talk about the Z Flip 6 later. There is also the Watch Ultra, Buds 3 and Buds 3 Pro. Let us know if you want a dedicated video on that. Now the most interesting launch was Fold 6. You get this rectangular box just as last year's Fold, and on the inside a Type-C to Type-C cable, some paperwork and a SIM ejector tool. Also you get this kind suitcase which looks like vegan leather. And you have this S Pen case. The S Pen for Fold is kind of similar in size and shape compared to the last time. Now the Fold 6 has about 4 major design upgrades. Like if you see, first of all, side by side with the Fold 5, the Fold 6 has a boxy design. The edges are flatter and boxy with these bolder rings around the camera outside. The frames are so flat that the Fold 6 can stand on its own even unfolded. The most noticeable upgrade here is the Z Fold 6 now has an armored aluminum frame. Even the hinge has a matte finish, and the Fold 6 feels very light to hold in hand. And the second major upgrade is the weight. If you see side by side with the Z Fold 5, which weighs in like 253 grams, the Fold 6 now weighs 239 grams. And it is a big deal because foldables in general used to be bulky. The original Z Fold started off at 276 grams and 6 generations later now to 239 grams. Like the S24 Ultra weighs 232 grams. Even when unfolded, the Z Fold 6 is much thinner than the S24 Ultra, so finally it's very close and usable like a normal flagship. Now there has been an improvement in the hinge as well. Just to make the difference very understandable, I'll put up a flash from the other side. If you see in the Z Fold 5, the light is visible from this end at the bottom, whereas in Fold 6 it's completely shut. Now you'll be like, Prateek, how does this even matter? Like earlier, if you kept the Z Fold 5 in the pocket and when you take it out and unfold it, a little bit of dust would enter the inner screen through this part. Whereas with the Z Fold 6, if you see, there is no dust collected in the middle crease part. Also this year you get IP48 resistance. Now of course, you could dip the previous folds in water, but with IP48, the first number 4 stands for dust resistance. And for that, it is safe from smaller screws, wires, etc. Also the front and back glass now have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection. Now design choices might be subjective, but I like the design of the Z Fold 6 here compared to all the other foldables. I personally prefer this taller cover screen which is much more usable with a single hand. So other than having upgrades in the build, there are upgrades in the display as well. The cover screen of the Fold 6 has got an update compared to the Fold 5. Now the cover screen can go from 1 Hz to 120 Hz, which helps to save battery. And if you compare the Z Fold 6 with the Z Fold 5 side by side, the cover display has gotten a bit wider and you can feel the difference, especially watching videos on the cover display. Also, the cover display can now go 2600 nits of peak brightness, so the icons, text and all of this are much more visible in the outdoor. And now let's unfold and go to the inner display. These are the specs for the inner display. The crease, if you compare it with the Z Fold 5, it comparatively looks lesser in the Z Fold 6 because this year Samsung has added an STF coating on the inner display which has helped them remove some layers from the screen, so the crease feels less. Like if I move my finger like this across the crease, it feels less creasier, like I don't know if that's a word. But I would still say at extreme angles or if you tilt the phone like this, the crease is still a bit noticeable. The inner display here also has 2600 nits of peak brightness, so the HDR video on Netflix that you'll play will look even more brighter and immersive. Now, cameras are one area where the Z Fold 6 has the same camera setup as the Z Fold 5. And the photos from it in the daytime come out quite well, like the colors, light control and all are quite good and are so big that look quite close to natural. Also, the portrait photos come out good. The edge direction in the photos is quite good here. In terms of videos, you can shoot at 8K 30 FPS, but come on, who's shooting in 8K? So you'll be mostly shooting in 4K, and this is how the video looks at 4K 60 FPS with the mic quality. On the cover display, you get a 10 megapixel selfie camera and the photos from it are decent. But why would you click selfies using the selfie camera when you can take selfies using the rear camera? Also, when you're clicking pictures using the main camera, you can use the cover display to show the preview, and this is very handy, especially when you're clicking pictures of your special one. Also on the inside, you get a 4 megapixel under display camera, which is mostly useful when you're taking video calls on the inner screen of WhatsApp or on other apps. See, folding phones like these are more productivity focused phones rather than camera focused phones. So from that point of view, the camera here is quite good. Now in terms of performance, you get Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. The base variant starts at 12GB RAM and 256GB storage. We ran the AnTuTu benchmarking app, which basically gives a score to your entire phone, and scored around 15.8 lakhs. Now many people these days, including us, we edit some of our stories on the phone. So we have taken a 4K video file on Adobe Rush side by side with the Fold 5 with a color grade added along with an overlay. And if you see here, the Z Fold 6 does it faster than the Z Fold 5. And we did this test multiple times and the result was the same. And now let's copy files and see who does it faster. So we have a 3.4GB video file here, and if you see, the Z Fold 6 is twice faster than the Z Fold 5. Again, tried it multiple times and the result was the same. Now, Z Fold 6 also has better ray tracing. So we tried this new game called Moonlight Blade, and let me show you this quick example. So now we are at basic settings, ray tracing off, everything off, and you can see there is no shadow of the character. Even if you look at the water or at the sun rays, the water looks very flat, no reflection, nothing. But now I just go into the graphic settings and turn ray tracing on, in fact set everything to high, and now when you come back to the game, you can see the reflection in the water, even the sunlight, how it glows. It looks very close to real life. In fact, when I start doing things with the sword, you can see the shadow of the character is also dynamic and replicates the same sword movement. See this sun rays. So ray tracing brings out finer details in shadows and reflection and makes the game much more real life like. In gaming, we played Call of Duty Warzone for around 30 to 40 minutes, and you can play the game at the highest settings in 60 FPS. And the gameplay here was smooth, no lags and frame drops, and there wasn't much heating because the Z Fold 6 here has a 1.6 times bigger vapor cooling chamber. So overall, from a performance point of view, the Fold 6 has that flagship performance. Now coming to the most awaited part, software, it comes with the latest Android 14 out of the box, running on the latest One UI 6.1.1, and we know One UI is quite feature-packed Android skin, but the major stress this time was on AI. Like in the settings, if you see, you have a separate Galaxy AI tab now. Now, one thing that Samsung didn't talk much about was Galaxy AI is now multimodal. Now, you'll be like, Pratik, what is multimodal? Well, in simple words, the Galaxy AI as of now was dealing with everything related to text. Like you could summarize text, rephrase sentences into another text, or just convert audio to text. But basically, AI can deal with four stuff: text, images, video, and audio. And it just keeps creating a combination of either text to text, image to video, or text to video. And this time, Galaxy AI is expanding to photos. Now, if you sketch an object on a photo, it turns into real life object. It sounds a bit confusing, right? Well, let's understand this with an example. See, I've clicked a selfie here and I'll just draw a crown on top of my head. Now I hit on generate and whoa, it has generated like a proper crown, and you can see there's depth and all of that. So there is one AI engine in the backend that is able to take inputs in sketch format and generating it with an image while keeping the context in place. Another cool feature here is, see, I'll go to the Notes app and I'll sketch an amazing masterpiece here. It's not a masterpiece. I'll tap on the starry icon now and see it has turned very average piece of art to an amazing digital sketch here. Now, there are times when we take pictures for thumbnail and we need to draw and explain the concept to our graphic designer, and of course, we are not artists, at least not me. So we draw sketches like this, but now it makes our job easier. I thought this feature would be gimmicky, but straight up, this is a superb feature, and I could see 3D artists, video editors, civil engineers, even interior designers using this feature quite a lot. Another cool feature here is you get the option of a portrait studio. So I'll select the 3D cartoon style and wow, it has generated outputs in proper sharp and high resolution. But let's say if you have a selfie with your friend and you want to convert both of you into cartoon art, well, as of now, you have to choose one single face and then only you can apply Portrait Master effect. Also, it would be really cool if it could create the entire body and hands of the photo. Another cool feature is now Live Translate works in calls and third-party apps like WhatsApp, etc. So now we'll call Shovikda on WhatsApp. So in any third-party app, you just have to swipe down and you'll see this Live Translate option. Just tap on it, select your language, like mine is English and the other person is Hindi. So Shobik, would you like to have lunch?
क्या आप आज दोपहर का भोजन करना चाहेंगे?
जी हाँ, आज दोपहर का भोजन मैं करना चाहूँगा.
Yes, I would like to have lunch today.
The translation works well for the occasion. So let's say if you're on an international trip and you have booked the cab on Uber and the driver has called via the Uber app, then you can use the live translate feature right into the Uber app and make your work easier. Even Circle to Search has now a couple of additions. Now let's say you end up watching a reel which is in another language, suppose Mandarin. You circle to search and see it immediately translated the Mandarin text to English. And I believe in this multimodal AI. As of now, we are seeing this text and image phase, but soon it will come to videos and we'll see text to video, image to video, and all of that crazy stuff. Now, when talking about so much AI, a bigger concern is data privacy. Since you're sharing all of this data to the cloud, so inside every setting like note summary, there's a proper disclaimer that says the text data is encrypted on the device and then sent to the cloud. Now, in terms of software update, just like the S24 series, it's going to receive 7 years of software updates and security update, which is, I believe, by far the best you can get on any smartphone. Okay, so what's the takeaway here? Well, this is how I see it. In the smartphone space, now we'll see a trend where hardware upgrades would be kind of less and there will be more software-based innovations, and to be more specific, AI-based innovation would be coming to all other smartphones. Like every AI gadget, AI app, website or feature you'll see, it will eventually come down to your smartphone. And bold prediction, I believe this is the start. All major launches this year will be majorly about software and AI. Even Samsung is expanding these Galaxy AI features to more and more Samsung smartphones. Now, in terms of pricing, the Z Fold 6 starts at 16499, and there are also some pre-order offers, like you'll get an extra 8K exchange offer plus 8K bank cashback on HDFC cards. And another thing we noticed, on the settings page in the Fold, you get Samsung Care Plus, which you can enroll within 30 days of buying the device. So for the Fold, you get 2 screen replacements or part replacement worth 14,999. You can get this program for just 999 while pre-ordering. And of course, these are expensive smartphones, but if you have the budget, I believe these are the best Fold hardware and software wise that money can buy. On that note, this is Pradeep signing off. See you in the next video. Pew pew pew.